Hello, everyone. My name is Morgan. I am the host of the Women Can Project. I am joined with Julia Khoury Valentine of Chick Tech, Central Oregon. Welcome, Julia.
Hi, thanks for having me, Morgan.
I'm so happy to have you. We've been talking now for a couple of months.
Yeah.
We finally found the time to sit down and chat, and I'm excited to talk about Chick Tech. So first and foremost, Julia, where are you coming from? Where are you living right now?
Yeah, I am in Bend, Oregon.
I was just there.
No way.
It was cold.
It is cold. It just all of a sudden it was freezing.
Oh my gosh. I feel like the winter has come like really quickly this year.
We've had snow multiple times already. It's crazy.
Already?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Julia, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you do professionally?
Yeah. So I am a mechanical engineer. I work as a product development engineer at a company in Redmond, Oregon, just north of Bend, and we reprocess medical devices. So devices that are single use, instead of hospitals throwing them in the garbage, they'll put them in a little Medline renewal bin and they'll ship them to my company, and we find ways to sterilize them, refurbish them, make them brand new so we can sell them back to customers at a discounted price and keep them out of landfills, and also help reduce healthcare costs.
That's awesome. So good for people and good for the world.
Yeah,
That
exactly.
is so cool. And is your educational background in engineering?
Yeah, I graduated from Oregon State with a bachelor's and then a master's in mechanical engineering.
Cool. And when you first entered college, is that what you thought you were going to pursue?
No, not at all. I thought I wanted to be a physical therapist from, I think, age 10 forward. That was what I had my heart set on. I had done everything I needed to do to work towards that. And even my first year of college, that's what I had my heart set on. Engineering was an afterthought. It was
So
kind
how did an afterthought become your primary focus of education?
Yeah, so to be a physical therapist, you do some sort of bachelor's degree and then you go to PT school. So I was going to do exercise science, and my mom was concerned that in case I didn't go through with PT school, I couldn't do much with an exercise science degree. So she said I had to do something that was more significant in finding a job. And at that time, I was really thriving in my math and my physics classes. I was getting top scores in the classes and just really enjoying that kind of work. And so my dad suggested, why don't you look at engineering? Some backstory, all of the men in my family are engineers. Through both grandparents, they're all engineers. I did not want to be an engineer. That was boring. Did not like what they did at all. Didn't understand what they did. So at that same time, I was watching Grey's Anatomy. I'm a huge Grey's Anatomy fangirl.
As one does, naturally. Okay.
Yes. Um, well, to an embarrassing point, but it's fine. And in that time, Meredith Grey clearly was working on, I don't remember what it was, but some sort of 3D printing in Oregon, and she couldn't figure it out, and so she had to give it back to the bioengineers. I'm like, what's a bioengineer? What do they do? Why have I never heard of this before? And that kind of led that path to me figuring out what kind of engineering there was. And in fact, it's not what my dad does. It doesn't have to be what my dad does, as cool as what he does is. There's this whole other world of what engineers can do. And so I decided to go ahead and go with bioengineering. That is, I've never really felt like that's where I was supposed to be more than how I feel in engineering.
Okay. So you set aside PT,
Yep.
focused on engineering, graduated with your bachelor's in
Mechanical engineering.
mechanical, and then you moved on to get a master's in mechanical as well.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So what was your educational experience as a woman? What was the ratio men to women in your classes?
Yeah, so I started in bioengineering, like I said, and that was pretty good. It was about 30% women, which
That
is
is pretty good.
crazy high.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I realized mechanical engineering was what I wanted to do and was going to be a better path for me. And that's about 10% women. And it was pretty rough. I was lucky to be welcomed into a group of like 4 other girls in my class in mechanical engineering, and that was about it. There were the 5 of us. But I never had another girl on any of my projects or teams for anything. It was not unusual to be the only woman in one of my classes.
Hmm.
So pretty sparse.
Yeah. So, okay. So, not a lot of women. So then, you graduate, you move into this field.
Yeah.
Would you say that the field that you're currently in your workspace, do you find that it's more men to women?
Yes, but I'm actually in a pretty cool position where my boss is a woman. She's extremely young in her career. And my team, if you count the intern, we're 50%.
Wow.
Yeah. Um,
That is amazing.
it is one of the reasons I took this job, actually. I was so excited. First of all, I had never even heard of a female boss in engineering. That like blew my mind, which is horrible, but I had
Mhm.
never even interviewed with a woman before. Um, so to be able to have somebody who I can actually see be a
Mhm.
boss in engineering, I thought would be a really valuable experience, and it has been.
Totally.
And then we have this great team where if the intern gets hired full time, we will be 50-50. And I
Wow.
think that is absolutely unheard of. Even within the teams, the other engineering teams at my company, the other ones, there are some teams that are all men, just straight up.
Yeah. And that's okay too.
It is okay, yes.
So when you were growing up, you mentioned growing up that your dad was, that your dad was an engineer
Yeah,
and that all the men in your family are
yes.
engineers. Did engineering not, was it that you didn't want to go into engineering as a child, or was it not apparent that you could?
Um, it was mostly not apparent that I could. The first reason was that I didn't have any examples of people who were women who were engineers when I was growing up, but also I just didn't really realize what it was or that it was an option that I could be interested in. We didn't have any exposure to it in school at all. I didn't know. I just didn't know. And
Yeah.
it wasn't until my first year of college that I really realized that engineering is in everything and leads to everything, and everybody has a place in it.
So that kind of leads us into what your second job is. So you spend the day working as a product development engineer.
Mhm.
And when you're not doing that, you're busy working for who?
Chick Tech in Central Oregon. Yes, my day job and my night job.
Crazy. Tell us about Chick Tech.
Yeah. Well, I'll start with how I came across Chick Tech. So I just moved to Bend in March. So in this move, I was brand new. It's a pandemic, so it's kind of weird to meet people. So I was looking for an organization I could get involved in that was supporting women in technology or women in STEM. And this is the only one I came across. There was nothing else. This was the only option, which is totally great. I had heard of Chick Tech before. I grew up in the Portland area, and that's where Chick Tech started, so I was aware. But that's all there was here. And so I reached out to the coordinator and said, "Hey, I will do whatever." And eventually I heard back, and they said, "We need a communications and marketing director. Will you do it?"
So you just jumped in feet first?
Well, first I gave them a large disclaimer that I am a mechanical engineer and I know nothing about communications, first of all, or marketing, second of all. And they said, "It's fine. We'll figure it out."
Wow. We would be remiss if we didn't say that Chick Tech is a non-for-profit organization that's dedicated to the development of women in STEM.
Yes, so that's how I found them. But Chick Tech is a nonprofit organization, like you said. It was started in 2012 in Portland area, and it is devoted to inspiring young girls or kids who identify as female to learn about tech careers or get interested in what that might have to offer. And then also encouraging women in technology once they're further along in their career. They've found that there's a pretty high dropout rate with women in technology compared to men. I don't know why that is. I don't think anybody knows why that is, but that's the case. So really providing a foundation and a community so that women feel like they can belong and continue their career in tech.
That's really cool. Okay, so it's not for STEM primarily, which is science, technology,
engineering, and math. Yeah.
Okay, it's for technology.
It is for technology. That being said, Chick Tech views technology as a pretty large umbrella, including marketing and different kinds of communication, math also. I mean, really anything in science, tech, engineering, and math is going to heavily involve technology. Even more so.
All fields which are historically very male dominated.
Yeah.
But also all fields that's where it feels like that's where all the jobs are moving to.
Exactly.
So we need to be setting people up, or women up specifically, for success if they are going to continue to have a place in the professional sector.
Absolutely. Chick Tech really envisions a world where opportunities and pay and success are all equal, and we're working to make that a reality slowly but surely.
Yeah, I'm sure that's no small feat.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that day. I hope we get to see that day. I'm not sure that'll happen, but
it will. It will happen. The power of positive thinking, yes. It will happen.
At least for our grandkids. That's...
Girl, no, it's going to happen for you.
Well,
so we kind of touched on how in your work, it is fairly diverse in terms of male, women, men, women.
Yes.
But do you find that in general in engineering, it's fairly male dominated?
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, I never heard of a female boss in engineering. All my experiences were men who report to men, and it just, the higher up you go up the ladder, the more male it gets.
Yeah.
And even from school, it starts out that way with 10% of women in the mechanical engineering classes. Every job my husband has had, there have been no women on the team, not a single one.
How sad for them.
I know, right?
What a bummer.
I know.
So what is your chapter, Chick Tech in Central Oregon? What are you doing to reach out to the women, girls in the community?
Yeah, so our biggest thing that we've had success with in Central Oregon Chick Tech, so I say Central Oregon Chick Tech, and I mean anything from Bend all the way to the border of Idaho. So that's a large span of land, but not a huge population.
Yep.
Yes. But that means that we are reaching some really rural communities. So what we aim to do is host a high school event every year. This year it's looking a little bit different because it's virtual, so it's a year-long virtual event versus normally we have a weekend event where teachers in different schools within our community can nominate girls or students who identify as non-binary to come and join us. We host this at Oregon State Cascades, which is in Bend, and they get to come. We transport them, we provide childcare, we provide whatever they need, and it's all free. And they get to come and have some really awesome tech workshops, all sorts of things that they get to learn, things that I wish I could learn still. I'm like, wait, can I attend? Do I have to volunteer? Can I just, can I
Yeah.
learn? Things like athletic wear design, user interface, coding, technical writing for technology, all sorts of really cool things from professionals that are local. They get to come and they get to learn, they get to meet other women who are interested in technology, they get to make friends,
Mm-hmm.
all for free, and all, I mean, it's all completely taken care of. And so these girls from like really, really rural, I
Yeah.
still like blows
Where
my
they
mind
would
a
never
little bit how
encounter
they
this.
no, and they would never, I mean, they don't have AP classes or
Mhm.
anything like that that would help introduce them to things like that.
Yeah.
Um,
So you're
they get
really
to
you're
come.
really opening up a door for them in terms of
Exactly.
possibilities.
Yeah, I've got some statistics. So after participating in a Chick Tech event, 71% of girls report that they believe that they can be successful in a tech-related field, as opposed to only 41% before participating. That's huge to me. That's a lot.
That is
Um,
huge.
yeah, and 55% of participants reported that they have an increased confidence in their technology skills, compared to 29% before events. That to me is so big because it's not just knowing that it's available to you, but it's believing that you can be successful in it. And
That's
for
half the
me, I
battle.
didn't.
That's changed, obviously, in light of COVID. So you said that was a weekend workshop. How has it pivoted?
Yeah, so that's been really hard for us as an organization. Instead of a weekend event, we have it's a year-long program, and so the same kind of nomination system happens, and it's still available to high schoolers, and they will attend workshops once a month and mentoring sessions once a month, and then a networking thing once a month, and that happens for the whole year. We're hoping next fall we can have in-person events, but obviously nobody knows that.
Right.
But
Well,
it's kind of a struggle because there's Zoom burnout. There's all sorts of, it's hard to capture that kind of audience, but we have over 300 participants right now, and I think it's going pretty well. So
that's pretty good. 300
yeah,
participants?
yeah,
Wow. Well, it sounds like because you've had to pivot, you are maybe there's more consistent interaction versus, a weekend. There's, you said like
right.
monthly.
Yeah, exactly. So they have different workshops they can choose from each month, and then a
Hmm.
mentoring session every month. So yeah, it is more consistent, and I think overall it'll be, I think they'll gain a lot more skills and more confidence ultimately.
Yeah.
So I
Well,
think
and
yeah,
also if they truly are interested in this, they're going to stick to it and they're going to
exactly.
attend. So, I mean, there's a potential for greater learning because
Yeah.
of this yearly program now.
Yeah, we're only a month into it so far, so we will see. But I'm pretty excited about it, and I think all of the participants are really excited about it too. So
That is so cool. Well, congratulations.
yeah, I think it's great.
What would you say your biggest accomplishment has been since joining Chick Tech?
Oh, well, that is helping get the adult program up and running. So we just talked about the youth program, which has been really successful in the past, but we last month hosted our first adult program. We don't really have anything good we're calling it right now.
The
That's
adult program. Okay.
yeah, the adult program. We're adults, yeah, we get on Zoom and talk about tech. But we're trying to really establish within Central Oregon and beyond to Eastern Oregon a community of professionals that can rely on each other and support each other as we're navigating a career in tech. Um, Last month was our first event, and it was really great. It was a good space to meet other women, especially, well, for me personally, I am new to the area, and so it was a really good opportunity to meet people who are like me. Um, but also just a way to kind of from the outside world, we're able to have people who understand what we're talking about, what we're going through, and then meet new people and hear about their experiences. That's been really great. And we're aiming to have one event per month for now, whether it's a workshop on something more technical or something that's more professional development related, or just a networking event, something along those lines. So that's what I'm most excited about right now.
That is awesome. What would you say your biggest challenges for Chick Tech?
Yeah, COVID.
Okay, that was an easy one. Apart from COVID, what is the biggest challenge Chick Tech is facing right now? Everybody's is challenged with COVID.
I know. It's awful. It's hard, and it's going to be with us for a little bit. So we're trying to adapt to it as best we can. But the biggest challenge we're facing right now is probably because we're newer especially with the adult program, just getting our name out there. And so a lot of name recognition and just having a reach, because we know that there are people out there, especially when you go to more remote areas, and there's definitely a need. I mentioned that this is the only thing in Central Oregon, anything remotely like what we do.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely a need, and so being able to reach those people and broaden our reach is our biggest challenge right now, and I think that will come with time.
Totally.
That's kind of what I'm working on as the comms director. So
yeah. Well, I mean, I think the more you reach these young women, the broader your audience will become. Exactly. It really is only a matter of time, because they're going to tell their friends who are going to tell their friends, and more women are going to see that there truly is a place for them in the tech field.
Yeah, the coolest thing I've been able to experience is reaching out to past participants and how willing they are to volunteer or share their story because of what a big impact Chick Tech was when they were younger. There are some really, I just want to say, like, really powerful women in some local businesses here who are doing amazing things. And one of these ladies I was talking to, and she said the first time she realized she could do something in tech was at a Chick Tech event.
Wow.
And she is finishing an engineering degree and working at this insanely cool startup with all of these other really powerful women. It's very cool to see that impact that Chick Tech has been having, especially in Central Oregon, as rural as we might be.
That is so cool. This is exactly what Women Can is all about. It's just recognizing that women have the ability to really do anything. Exactly. Because the educational platforms are now in place for us to succeed.
And so we just need that push, or the example, or the mentor, or the role model to know that we can. So look
at you.
I know.
Look at you.
That's what I love about your podcast and about your platform, that just showing that if she can do it, I can do it. And that's
totally. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited for you. I am not really into tech, but I'm super excited, because I mean, it is like, we've talked in the past, because we've had several conversations in between now and then. I used to work for a tech company, but I worked on the admin side. But I was so fortunate in that there were a lot of women that worked for, it was a software company, a huge software company. I'm not going to say what its name is, but there were a lot of women that worked for it. And I kind of just assumed that women could do this 100%. And it's only, I left that firm. And since then I have realized that was unusual. That wasn't normal.
Yeah.
But I've seen it. I know it's possible. So like talking to you, I know it's possible. I know you're going to be successful. I know girls are going to watch this. They're going to see your stories. They're going to follow you on Instagram at Chick Tech
Cenor. C-E-N-O-R.
Thank you. Chick Tech CENOR.
Yeah.
And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, yeah, that could be me. I could be like Julia.
And that is right now that's my number one goal, is just these women can do it. You can do it too. And that's so important as we're moving towards a society that is so heavily dependent on STEM, and as we're reaching girls in these rural communities where maybe nobody's gone to college in their family, or maybe they can't go to college either, but they can consider a tech program or an accreditation where they can do something and support their family.
Totally.
As we move forward. Yeah.
Did we say what STEM was? I forget if we even referenced what STEM was.
Science, technology, engineering, art in parentheses, and math. So STEM is STEAM now. I don't know. I think they changed that after I left school. Yeah, science, technology, engineering, art, and math.
Okay,
I had to look that up when you.
Did you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, I feel like STEAM is where all of the jobs are.
Right.
But STEM is where all of the male jobs are.
Yes. That's
so we need to make art has always been readily available to women.
Exactly.
It's the science, technology, engineering, and math.
The scary thing is that as art moves to be more based in technology, it becomes more male dominated. So that's something that happens, and that I have to be, I don't know, it scares me a little bit, but as all of, I mean, everything we're doing is moving towards technology.
Yeah. Well, which is an even greater reason to be providing these educational platforms for women.
Exactly. Absolutely.
What advice would you give to a woman or a young girl watching this, if they're interested in one in either tech or STEAM, one of the STEAM careers? What advice would you give them?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that's been helpful for me is really learning to be brave and learning to fail. So STEM, it's not easy. I cried a lot in college because it was hard. It was not, I mean, it's probably the hardest thing I've done. But it's okay to fail. And the more often you fail, the more often you'll succeed. I think oftentimes we're taught as young girls that we need to be perfect and not brave. And there's a lot of literature on that right now, but being brave and taking chances and taking risks and doing the hard things as often as possible. So if that means that every time you're in a meeting, you have a rule that you ask one question or speak up one time in every meeting, that means that when it's really important, you'll be ready to do that and you'll know how to do that really well. Or if that means asking for little things as often as possible, that means when you're ready to ask for a promotion or an increase in your job offer, you'll be ready to do that because you know how to ask for things, you know how to put yourself in uncomfortable positions, and you know how to be brave.
Well, I think the concept of doing hard things it's not like a natural, it's not like something we naturally think of doing. Like, I'm going to do this hard thing and it's going to be great. Doing hard things is hard. But if you do one hard thing, you can do one more hard thing.
Exactly.
And it can be a progression and you will.
Eventually it becomes easy.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you. Where do you see Chick Tech in 5 to 10 years?
Well, I specifically Chick Tech in Central Oregon, I see as growing to an organization where all of the local professionals can lean on it as a means of professional development, as a means of learning a new technology skill, as a means of networking and finding jobs. And I see the youth program and our youth reach as a platform where girls can come and learn and build confidence through all sorts of workshops that the professionals can help put on. So this really kind of symbiotic relationship where you start out as a young girl and then you come and go into a technology field and give back in a volunteering way. So just really ingrained in our community here in Central Oregon and in Eastern Oregon. Also some strong partnerships with local businesses. That's my goal going forward. So that's something that I hope that Chick Tech can accomplish, especially as we're just getting started here.
Yeah. And for yourself professionally, where do you see yourself in 5 to 10 years?
Oh, that's
A little bit harder to answer, isn't it?
that's so much harder to answer. Well, love I love mechanical engineering. I cannot see myself anywhere other than mechanical engineering. I say that now, we'll see in 10 years, but it's absolutely so rewarding, and I feel like I'm able to contribute in a meaningful way. So I definitely see myself still in engineering. As far as 5 years from now, 10 years from now, I'd like to go into engineering management at some point. That's the dream. We'll see. But I think getting started here at my job right now, and being able to be involved with Chick Tech, the support I see myself having just through that, I think we'll be able to get there. I'm excited about it.
Totally. That's so cool. I did a little research before we close for women who are interested in pursuing STEM education platforms or pursuing STEM education. I found some platforms for you. There's Girls Start, Girls Who Code, Women Who Code, the NGCP, and STEM for Her. And of course, there is Chick Tech.
Yeah, check us out. Chick Tech is awesome, and it's all over. There's 16 locations all over the country. Chick Tech Central Oregon is awesome. Might be a little biased, but some other good organizations for engineering specifically, because that's my background. Society of Women Engineers is fantastic, and there, I mean, all sorts of great online resources. And it's not that hard to get started learning tech. And
it's not hard to find these places.
No.
Probably the hardest part is actually to commit to learning.
Exactly. And that's something I wish I had done earlier. Just learned Code Academy, really. If I had just hopped on Code Academy when I was a kid, they've got really fun coding games where you learn to code while you're playing a game, and it's so cool.
That's awesome.
Things like that. I think there's a lot of stuff out there, and I think with the work that Chick Tech is doing and some of the other organizations you mentioned, I think we're in a good place, and I think the future is looking really hopeful.
That's awesome. And Julia, where can we find Chick Tech? What's your Instagram again?
It's Chick Tech Senor, so Chick Tech CENOR. But also our national organization is just at Chick Tech, on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, all the things.
Okay. And your primary website is chicktech.org.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Julia, for your time.
Thank you.
I so appreciate it. To anyone who's watching, listening, I hope you've enjoyed this interview. I hope you will check out Chick Tech. If you have any interest in STEM or STEAM, I think a good place to start would be to start at chicktech.org. Thank you for joining us. And remember that, like Julia, women can.